All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And I love it when these small boutique guys from Napa Valley stop in. It's rare that, these guys even sell their wine in Florida. They sell most of it direct. We only make 350 to 500 cases of each wine, and you're making wine from some of the most famous vineyard sites in Napa Valley. Man, if you are worth your weight in grapes, you can sell everything direct. And, these guys do most of it. But they've decided, at the urging of our good friend Sue Haley at Steakhole, to let us have some of their wines here. And, these are really good wines. I have to say, some of the best Cabernets I've had thus far from 2010. But, hey, I haven't had a lot of wines from 2010 yet. It looks like a cooler vintage, a more classic year. This is a winemaker's vintage. And the wines need a little bit of time. This is my first experience with these round wines. I haven't heard of them before. The producer, Juan Mercado, he used to be in the hospital administration industry and worked to harvest in the Livingston Mofett Vineyard with Kongsgaard and was hooked. He went up to work with Thomas Brown and Fred Schrader, mostly in sales. He did some cellar work with Pax, and he was off and running. I think 2005 was the first vintage of these wines. He started out with, three blends, the Tempest, the Bard, and I don't know what the third one is because he didn't bring it to me, but the Tempest is a Merlot-dominated cuvee, shows more in the front of your mouth like Merlot does. Has this lovely dark plum and cherry fruit, some graphite mineral notes here, dark cocoa. Really big wines, these 2010s. They need some time. I kept these wines open on my desk all day, and they really did open up and develop all day long. This Tempest wine, most excellent juice, a very long finish in all these wines, and lovely balance in these wines. Even though they're big, they have lovely freshness at the end, lovely spice, lovely nuance, lovely earth, minerality. They have got everything in them. The Tempest, like I said, the Merlot base. The Bard is the Cabernet base wine, 80%. It's got a little Merlot and Petit Verdot. And this wine's got a lovely dark berry and cassis berry fruit, chocolate notes, herbs, and floral notes also coming through in this wine. Really elegant wine on the palate, but very big, very tannic at the moment. This 2010s need another 3, 5, 10 years in your cellars. Lovely dark cocoa, lovely minerality, fresh earth coming through on the finish. Most excellent juice, the Bard also. And then the single vineyard wines, the Farella Vineyard, 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from Combsville. This wine used to go into Opus 1 and Robert Mondavi Reserve until 2003 when Constellation took over. I guess it was 2004. They're selling to Schaefer, Paul Meyer, Lale, and a little warmer sites. That's one of the things Cabernet loves, but this is a classic Napa Valley Cabernet bouquet. Dusty kind of earth, cigar box spice, mocha notes, espresso, really complex, and a distinct herbal notice in this wine, which is something you get from Cabernet Sauvignon, along with that dark currant and cassis berry fruits. Lovely spice showing on the palate. That currant and dark cherry fruit really needs a little time to develop as the wine opens up. By the end of the day, this wine really starting to show nicely. That herb and bitter cocoa showing through the finish. Most excellent juice. Like I said, very long finish on all these wines. The Dr. Crane, this is one of the more famous Cabernet sites in Napa Valley, and 96% Cab, 4% Petit Verdot. Dr. Crane planted this vineyard in 1982. It's in St. Helena, right next to Spotswood, the Madrona Ranch from A. Brew, Hain Vineyard. Really lovely dark spice in this wine. Cigar, espresso, dark currant, and cassis berry fruit. On the palate, this wine is also deep and dark with lovely mocha notes to that currant and cassis berry fruit. Firm tannins, really classic Napa Valley Cabernet, showing a lovely amount of fresh earth, dried tobacco spice, and a really long finish. Most excellent juice at $219. Hoo-ah. Well, that's what you'll pay for Paul Hobbs, Dr. Crane, even though Realm is no Paul Hobbs. These wines are really good. The Tokalon, 450 cases produced of this wine, 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, a lovely earthy kind of mineral-driven bouquet here, this 2010, as I mentioned before, a classic year, a lot of fresh plowed earth, dark spice, solid core of dark currant berry fruit, really lovely concentration of richness on the tongue with firm tannins and a good hand of acidity, holding things firmly in place, lovely dark cocoa spice. Excellent structure, a lot of depth of fruit, dark cocoa, a really long finish in this wine. The biggest and longest of all the wines, killer juice. That's right, it gets a killer rating. All these wines, the top 2 ratings though in my rating scale, all of them most excellent to killer. That's what I had to drink with our friend Juan Mercado from Realm Winery. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.